The Jamaica Selectboard meeting, regular meeting of Monday, February 24th, 2025. It is 7:01 p.m. The first order of business is to call for any late additions to the agenda. We have one that I'm aware of, which is to review and approve a tobacco license application that came in since I prepared the agenda, which is a letter of support of the Northeast Wilderness Trust acquisition of so-called College Hill, and we'll do that on March 10th.
There's an overweight.
Oh, okay.
Permit.
We'll also review and approve an overweight permit. Anything else in the basket?
No.
I think that's it.
That was it? Okay. Kate, anything? No. Okay. So those are all of the late additions. The next order of business I will make is to review and approve the minutes from the February 10th regular meeting. I will make a motion to approve the minutes as circulated from the February 10th regular meeting. Thank you. I'll call the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Great. So we'll skip number 3. Item number 4 relates to the current financing with Vermont Bond Bank. It will mature in the month of March. We need a little bit more time to get the documents here, review, approve. So we will be what's called an Alonge to the note itself, which is an addendum which duplicates the note. And really it's basically just rolling over the note for about a month. It's a 1-pager. And I'm going to find you both tomorrow to find. And with that, I ran out without it. I apologize. But if I'll make a motion to approve extending the Vermont Bond Bank note on its same terms for a month while we complete the paperwork necessary to roll the note over for another term. So, thank you. Any discussion of that? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Great. The next order of business is we're going to hear from Chris Robbins, who's our erstwhile and steadfast representative on the CUD, the Communications Union District, and this multi-year project to provide critical needed broadband access on an equitable basis to all residents of the town of Jamaica, and how that may be impacted. So if you can tell us what it is that might be impacted, how it's going to be impacted. And
well, for a little more than the past year and a half, we've been planning to start building the middle of the 3-loop distribution system beginning early in 2025, based on anticipation as part of the IIJA infrastructure. This is a $42.5 billion grant, of which Vermont share is $229 million. So it's a lot of money. This is a difficult grant to apply for. It requires a number of preliminary submissions, very detailed plans, really, and obtaining commitments for 25% match to private capital, which is no mean feat for a startup. We're providing service under this grant to all the underserved or unserved, which we call UUs, in our area, it's downloads. So there are a lot of places in Jamaica where that applies. Vermont standard is 100 symmetrical, so that's the minimum we will provide. So you can imagine our dismay when this grant was, along with everything else, suspended. So right now, we don't know when or even if these grant funds are going to be available. 6 time frame is no longer likely. So how's Vermont responding? Well, the Vermont Community Broadband Board, which is our controlling board, the VCBN, was applying for the grant, assuming this is a delay and not a ultimate cancellation, I guess. Albeit a lot slower than we were going before, though. Our final proposals are due March 6th. They say they're going to award grants. Whether they carry any money or not, we don't know, but they're going to award by the end of the year. So as far as DVFiber is concerned, we don't know this one's ultimately different leads. DVFiber is responding by first completing the first phase of our program, which is the southern distribution loop. We have nearly $6 million in the bank. We have now 800 plus subscribers. That's up 200 from what was in the town report this month, which is pretty good. Most importantly, we are on target to achieve sustainability, which means positive cash flow from operations by the end of when we finish this, spending the rest of the $6 million. We're on plan and on schedule. So we're not going to fold. You know, we can operate over a hiatus while we pursue one of two options. If the BEAD funding is permanently canceled, and then we're going to revert to Plan A. Our original plan was to build this with private capital, and we can, and with the commitment of the funds for the matching grant, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to raise private capital, but not the amounts, at least not up front, that we would have after we finish the BEAD grant. So we'll have to go a lot slower. There'll be a big schedule impact. Can't be helped, but we're building a 30-year system. So if it takes longer, it takes longer, but our mission is to complete it one way or another. If the BEAD grant funding is restored, then we'll resume Plan B and proceed with the BEAD grant. It's likely there'll be a 6 to 9 month slip, plus some startup hiatus. We had planned to overlap starting up, awarding new labor contracts and a startup phase for whoever gets them, which is probably 3 months. If we don't overlap, like I said, we're in a position to operate in a sustainable way in that period. I think it's unlikely that we're going to see anything in 2025. I really do. There is some reason for our optimism, maybe hope, rather than reason, but the BEAD program does enjoy broad bipartisan support in both houses of Congress. And the amount of funds of this $42 billion that's allocated for the red states is about double that for the blue states. So there's probably going to be more Republican support for it than at least as much anyhow.
Right.
I switched talking points here. Our chairman is going to, Stephen Johns is going to write when he knows more. Hopefully, he's going to know more.
Right.
And maybe be more forthcoming on schedule, but that's what we know right now.
So I have a couple questions. So you were saying we can continue operating, in the even despite this delay, but there's going to be a point at which the money runs out, or we just finish what we can with the $6 million and then.
But if we keep adding 50 customers a month, which we have no trouble doing, right. The problem is keeping up with not recruiting. And the the 6 million is, for construction.
Right.
That's gonna last, I get, well, I don't wanna say for the rest of 2025.
Okay.
We plan to overlap starting this second phase. Actually, we plan to start it now, but they've been slipping a little bit and a little bit,
Okay.
and now there's a really big slip.
Okay.
So we could see, anyhow, when we get in construction, we will have enough customers to generate enough revenue
Okay.
that will be cash flow positive.
Okay. Right, but at some point the construction will stop.
That's right. No.
Right. No new, right. No new geographic areas covered. Okay. And now BEAD is a congressional program, right? I mean, that money was.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how many billions are in the.
Allocated by Congress.
In the IIJA that influence that.
Right.
Innovation, infrastructure, jobs, and jobs.
Right. That was passed by Congress. So.
Passed by Congress.
Right. So, right.
There are programs and SPEED program.
Right.
Which is administered by the National Telecommunication and Information Agency of the Commerce Department.
Oh, it's part
Their
of
mission
Congress.
is to provide fiber optic to the home, nationwide.
Right. So it's more that element of the Commerce Department, their operations have been stopped
Yes.
by the administration, not, right, they're not, right.
I don't know if they've been told to lay off everybody.
Okay.
But the all grants.
That's right, it's all grants. Right.
Were suspended. So
Okay, it's part of that. Okay. All right, so there is a plan A.
There's a plan A.
There's a plan A.
We were plodding along, and then the IRA and the ARPA grants, when money from that, and we took off.
Right.
And now this happened.
All right.
Chris, how does one become a subscriber and how much does it cost?
There's 3 rates. You go to DVFiber, and it says there's a place, DVFiber.org. There's a place that says, sign me up, basically.
So you're not soliciting actively?
When we get, say, within 6 months, we'd like to schedule an information town hall and, pitch the whole thing to the community. And the rates are $75 for 100, 90 for 300, 135 for 1 gig symmetry. And you can get phone service for an extra $15, voice over. And that does the videos.
Oh, it's funny.
Thanks.
But not by much.
Any other questions?
I just received a message. Somebody would like to get in Zoom.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Well.
Seeing Karen, is actually the reason I felt I had to come, and I just wrote a piece of Facebook saying we were on track. So.
Oh, that's right. I know, right? The timing was inauspicious. Well, I mean, hopefully you're going to have another update soon with.
I hope so.
Positive news about the BEAD grant.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say.
Right. No predictions can be made. Thank you, Chris, very, very much for coming by and talking to us. It's, I know that a lot of people are concerned about it. So, yeah. Yes. You may also stay if you'd like. All right, now we're going to go through a series of updates from our intrepid road commissioner, former chair, and stand-in,
Yes, it's funny, so many things have popped up, just
Right.
more informational at this point. One was just kind of a general update, related back a little bit to what Jessica was just doing in extending our loan. We are, I can never say that we're getting close, but we are feeling like we're getting close. We've had a significant amount of money obligated, but it hasn't all fallen into our pockets yet. We have roughly $1.1 million that's been obligated from the December, or from the last July storm. There's still about $500,000 left. We received maybe half of that. I mean, probably not even quite, but it's a slow process, and I'm always kind of like every day I'm watching the news and think, okay, when's it going to get shut off again? But anyways, it's still moving along. We've also been fully obligated for, and that basically the July storm was 90% funding for our damages. So we will be receiving 90% of our outlaid money. So we still need to obviously pay for the rest of that. And then the December storm, we've been obligated at
I missed the first team.
I thought I had muted everybody, sorry. But the December storm, we're at, it's 75% that we will be obligated, and we've been fully obligated at $544,000. So, and a good portion of that has not come in yet. So we're in a good place that we're getting obligated for these funds, but we just still need to.
well, they have to
start rolling through. They
Because the
basically come
state
out of the
has
federal,
to-
they come to the state,
State.
and then they go through their grant process, and we then receive
Bless
the
you.
money. So,
their sausage making.
yeah, it's all the sausage and beef behind the scenes, yeah. So that's just kind of an update, just let everybody know. I guess, I don't know if there's any questions on that at this point, but I think there's still some projects out
The
there.
big news was, of course, the fact that they approved the Ball Mountain
Right.
debris removal
We have been
project,
obligated for that, right?
That was, definitely something that kept me up a few nights, but it's that funding has been obligated.
Right.
That was a huge hurdle.
And there's still some projects still left to do from the December storm. There's some stream bank remediation, kind of hardening or whatever you want to call it, along Pikes Falls Road. And then also the Cootieville, the wing wall on the bridge. So there's, again, some sausage going on behind there to make sure that we get what we need for those. So some of it, once we can start constructing and stuff in the summer, we'll be able to wrap those up.
Right.
Questions? Want me to just keep rolling, or
Yes,
we
yeah.
go,
State Park.
so item number 7, let me just switch over. I received a notice fairly recently, just from Brian Renfro, who is with the state of Vermont, just to update us on what's going on in the state park for this coming summer and some preliminary plans. They have, on the Hamilton Falls Natural Area Master Plan, they've been digesting all the stuff, all the feedback, all the public comment. They're looking to roll out more of a form, doesn't actually put a time frame, but sometime early this summer to do another presentation of what they're thinking as far as the master plan there. More in the short term, the current person who is the ranger up there at Hamilton Falls over the past couple of summers has moved on. So they've got an open position that they're trying to fund. There's challenges, obviously, because it's a remote location and, limited infrastructure up there and things like that. So that's being worked on, that there will be a seasonal staff person up there again at Hamilton Falls. And then the other within the park, the landslide that was on the West River Trail, they've got an engineering design work. They still need to put that out to bid. There is a bypass that they completed last year, so that you can still hike in and get to Hamilton Falls that way. But they were going to put that out to bid this summer, hopefully be completed by the fall.
Like one way up overlook is.
Over the
Right,
overlook,
right.
right. And they obviously want to be limit their impact on the state park operations as they do that. So that was just a quick update. People wondering what's going on in the park for the summer.
Going to be open.
It's going to be open for sure. Absolutely. Number 8 on the agenda was I've been speaking with Gary LaRoche. He's the V-Trans engineer who is kind of the head of our bridge refurbishment or bridge replacement in Jamaica, bridge number 32. Was supposed to be presented last fall, some design alternatives. Everything seems to always be creeping back, especially with relation to projects, funding, all that kind of stuff. So he's proposing that we put on the agenda, that I'll put on the agenda for April 14th, a presentation from the engineers in the preliminary design options for the State Park Bridge.
Right.
Yep. So got some stuff coming up that might. And then lastly, another program. It's called Rivers, and it's an acronym for something that I can't remember. It's kind of being worked on by Wyndham Regional. They're kind of spearheading it, working with a river engineering group. They've looked at 2 projects in Jamaica for mitigation. One of them was enhancing or reopening a flood channel that exists on the West River down toward French Bridge, right across from the trailer park there. They've determined that that's probably not going to be viable. They also are proposing a presentation at our next meeting.
Well, next meeting is the 10th. This says the 17th. Do you know whether they?
So so that you're right. It wouldn't be
Would it be the 10th or the 17th?
the 17th, but that doesn't line up for the correct date. So scratch that.
Yeah, we do
I
that.
believe it's the second.
Okay, the second meeting of March. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
And then the other project that they're looking at is up on Upper Pike Falls Road, the 2 culverts that are up there
Yes.
that would be including both of the culverts and some floodplain restoration up there. And they wanted us to just to be proactive about putting that out there, that's coming and hopefully get some good participation to hear those.
Now, do they feel like their funding is at risk?
It is FEMA money,
Okay.
and it's mitigation money, and it's part of that 93 million that was, I don't know if it's obligated or formally given already to the state, but it's a very competitive pool of money.
Right.
I mean, when you figure 93 million spread across the state, that doesn't go very far.
No.
So I don't know. We can always be hopeful.
Right. They've been working on those projects for a while.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Is it the same team?
Same pretty much group. I can't remember the name of it's an engineering firm out of Montpelier. But, yeah.
Okay. Right. That's it on.
That's it. Yeah.
River.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's now go to the tobacco license.
Hi, and my name is Chris Antonello. I'm on Zoom. I'm the one with my wife that's applying for the license.
Oh, great. I'm going to make a motion and then open the floor for discussion. So I'll make a motion to to approve the application number 53723 for a tobacco license at why is the address not right on here? 8678 Vermont Route 30, which is the it's
It's the location of our mother's garden.
our mother's garden.
Nursery.
Thank you. Yeah, across from the gas station. So if you want to talk to us a little bit about.
Well, we can.
Your business.
I'll second.
Oh, second it. Thank you. Sorry. Open for discussion, please go ahead.
Basically, my wife and I believe the store that we've had in Brattleboro for 25 years deserves better than what the town of Brattleboro has become. Unfortunately, Brattleboro has gone way downhill with a lot of issues. They've increased parking prices. They've added paid parking on Sundays, and they seem to support the, for lack of better words, and I apologize, the junkie community more than local businesses. Plus, my wife and I bought a house in Winhall about 3 years ago, and I am a full-time property manager up at Stratton Mountain. So having our store moved to a closer location to our house and a better location for our customers, where I believe everyone will be safer than having to come to the Harmony parking lot and fend off people begging for money and everything else that happens. So we are applying for a tobacco license for the same business that we're transferring over, or hoping to transfer over into your wonderful area, where we think we will be able to flourish a lot better and keep our customers a lot safer.
So are you, is there a designated area within the building and that you're leasing from? Because the license.
Yes, the entire retail area, that basically when you look at the building, there's the whole lot where they do their green stuff, their trees and their brush and their bushes. And then there is I'd say about an 800 square foot retail area that we have been able to set up our location in. And I don't know how to explain it. It's just basically a section of their property that has been a rentable property, and they were doing retail in there, but they weren't making the money they needed to keep going with the constant having to have employees there paying for that, and they weren't making enough money. So they looked into the option of getting rent as a guaranteed income monthly. And between the two of us, it was something that would work beneficially for everyone involved.
What kind of business do you have?
We sell pipes and water pipes, basically with Rimline dispensary right next to it. We think it's a good fit. I'm finalizing every bit of paperwork. I'm obviously working on the tobacco license. For point of reference, in the years we've been in Brattleboro, we had no violations of selling to anyone underage. We hold a very strict policy to make sure we ensure following the rules as they apply to what we do. And primarily it's my wife and I that will be running it. I'll be taking mornings before I go to work. She'll be taking afternoons and evenings. And our focus is to just allow an area and a place for the community to have what they need, the needs of what they need met by offering a good quality product.
Where exactly is this place?
Do you know where our Mother's Garden is? It's right across from the Rawsonville Market and Gas Station. And it's a nursery. It's predominantly a nursery, a garden center. And there's a building. And inside, she's had a little store. But it'll now be leased by
Harmony Underground.
Harmony.
Is Alyssa not going to do the gardening? Or
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is Alyssa not going to be doing the gardening, or they're just giving over?
They were utilizing the indoor retail space as a spot to generate a little bit more revenue with little potted plants and pictures, and they were doing a lot of consignment for friends stuff. Just trying to make ends meet. And she and I have known each other for a couple of years, and she thought it would be a good opportunity for us to, like I said, give our customers a better place to be and put our store in a better position. They are still doing the nursery, but they're going to be doing their plants outside and maintaining it that way. They obviously will still have access to come in and out as they need to for anything that they would do, but it would be a full rental on us with our business in there completely.
Yeah, questions? All right. So if I see no further discussion, I'll call the vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's all you need from me?
That's it.
Awesome. And I want to thank all of you. We will not disappoint you guys. If any of you ever need anything, come on down. We'll take good care of you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You guys have a nice night.
You too.
Thank you.
So go to the other late edition, which is an overweight permit.
Yes, I will make a motion to approve the overweight permit for Lind Well Drilling Incorporated. It is for a total of 4 vehicles. And everything is in line here, their insurance, they paid their
Wrote the check.
permit fee.
Okay, I'll second the motion. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye. Okay, unless I've skipped something, which I don't think I have. That's it on the regular agenda. I have a couple of public announcements and then I'm gonna open the floor. So, on Sunday, this coming Sunday, I don't know, do you know what time, Karen?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. But hosted at the Jamaica House. The Democratic Committee will have a candidates night.
Well, the Jamaica Democratic Committee is just sort of arranging it.
Oh, okay.
It's for anybody.
Right, as it always is. It's not it's candidates night.
It's nothing political.
No, it's
Okay.
no party affiliation.
And
Yeah.
this is this coming Sunday?
Yes, this coming Sunday
At 5.
at 5, 2 days before the meeting.
So anybody interested in running, anybody
Right.
interested in seeing how
Right.
I
will be there.
Positions are.
Kate can't be there, but she'll be at town meeting. Oh, okay. And of course, we hope some candidates come. We remain down a member. We are 4 on the select board tonight, and tonight was an example of how that can be an issue. I had something on the agenda, which I mentioned earlier. I had to move because we didn't have a quorum, because I had to recuse myself from that. We'll make it easy for you. Come to candidates night if you're interested, and just learn about participating in municipal government.
Congenial group of people.
Very,
Yes.
very, and a very nice setting. Thank you, Benzie, for hosting at the Jamaica House. And a reminder that tomorrow is the information session for Article 5, the vote on Article 5 at the town meeting. We will post on the website in the morning a Q&A, which we discussed at the last meeting. It's just about done. I have to slot in some numbers. So that'll be on the website. We'll post it at the post office and at the front here, and we'll be handing it out. We'll use the Q&A just to kind of guide the conversation, but of course, it's any question is invited. That's at 7 o'clock tomorrow night here at the town office in this space. And that's what I had. Any other announcements? Okay.
There is somebody in.
Oh, is there someone raising their hand?
No, not yet, but I was gonna say there may be other public.
Okay.
But we'll give these guys priority because they got.
Yes, they got here. Karen?
I would just like to say thank you to the road crew. The village looks wonderful. There's plenty of room for parking for town meeting, and it's great.
Right.
There's still more to
And
do.
there's still more to do.
Yeah, and also just to let everybody know that our wonderful little Bobcat machine did blow a belt on Friday. I'm trying to cut through all that heavy snow, and should have been replaced today, but so the sidewalks will be back to a better state too, by hopefully in the next day or so.
And our snow blower.
That's what I meant.
The snow blower of the Bobcat. Yeah,
Bobcat,
exactly.
snowblower, yeah.
But Keith was out there today moving in. He's
Lot of
gonna
heavy-
continue.
Heavy
Yeah.
stuff.
A lot of heavy stuff. And they all had COVID.
Oh, the road crew?
The road crew,
Oh.
during the storm,
turned out to
during the
be.
windstorm. Yeah, God bless. Anyway, Karen, please.
Speaking of belts, we've still been having trouble with the town hall heat. Scott went in there the other day, and he went down in and looked at it, and the belt was on the ground, all stretched out and not working. So
Okay.
he told me today he was going to do it today, fix it today. So hopefully that is the problem, because there's a funeral coming up on Saturday in there, and Sunday, Tuesday is town meeting, so,
Right.
so hopefully it gets done.
Anything else?
Jamaica Day is planned for August 16th, and we're making good headway. We'll be posting additional meetings. So that's about all I have at the moment.
Okay, and we have some other members of the public.
Right?
Did you want to?
Yes, we have an issue on 70 Factory Street, and all the houses on that street are being attacked by a cat urinating all over the house. Marking, yeah. And I've actually witnessed it, other people have witnessed it. It was actually on my porch, and then it looked at me, and then it decided to go all over my grill. Someone from out of state was here this past weekend with their brand new Tundra, and one of the kids left the door open, the cat went in, somebody saw it, they went over, he urinated in the inside of the vehicle. And then it decided to scratch me and bite me.
Right.
Bite me here and scratch me here. So I'm still waiting to hear back if
You called the animal control and.
well, I did get a hold of Kate did. I did call the Humane Society because I did manage to catch it, and they wouldn't take it. So I had to let it go.
They wouldn't fix it? They wouldn't give it?
They wouldn't take it
neuter?
because they were too full and they had more cats coming up from the south. So they said, you can hang on to it. And I'm like, I have 3 cats that I've rescued from around town.
Wouldn't they neuter it and then you can take it back and at least it's not marking because
But the owner of the cat lives down on Depot Street.
Oh, you know who owns the cat?
Yes, but he won't respond to me. Rob knows about it. I was supposed to be contacted to know if the cat was fixed or not, or not fixed, but
Vaccinated.
if it had its immunization, so I didn't, whether I had rabies or not, I don't know.
Right.
But I'm going to go in and get all these tests done if it's fixed, so.
Right.
So anyways, what I guess I'm saying is, I know of at least 3 cats that belong to someone. I don't think they're from Smithsville. I think they're from, because I have 2 from her, and they're gray cats.
Right.
And then I have an orange one, and we took care of him, Patty Dixon did.
Right.
And we caught him and had him fixed and whatnot. But there's a gray cat that got into Jonathan Helen Bischoff's house.
Yeah.
That is running around town too. That's
a different one?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we've seen
There's
that
the
one.
black one. There's the black one and the gray one.
Right.
Yeah.
So, do you have a sense of where they're coming from? Did you let
No,
Rob know?
well, the one cat I know, because I was told, the owner lives down across from Andy and Gracie's house.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay,
but he won't respond.
okay.
Yeah.
And Rob's aware of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Does Rob go knock on the door?
He can, usually
Well,
he
he's got the
calls
phone
you
number,
or,
because
right,
they
he
would
calls.
both you.
He calls.
If he doesn't, if they don't reply.
So I guess my question is, what legally can you guys do to keep the owners of pets to neuter their animals?
You mean, we have no there's not, I'm curious,
But is
what
it
do you
something
mean,
that
what do you
we can
mean?
come up with
Like
as
write a
well?
ticket or something? Yeah, no. We don't have, statutory authority
Yeah.
to issue a ticket or,
No,
there's no
I mean,
ordinance that,
can we
yeah.
just make it? Yeah, like a
Control the
dog.
cat, the
Yeah.
animal,
Say that again?
Like you do with the dogs.
to control the cat, to.
Leash law.
Leash law.
Well, there's not,
I just don't think the cat should be out, if they're not neutered, they shouldn't be out running.
right, I mean, if a cat is dangerous, then you call animal control. I mean, I suppose in the worst case scenario, you call 911.
Yeah.
This board does not have authority
Right.
to either write tickets, to trap animals,
Right.
we
Well,
have-
that's why you have Rob.
right, Rob is delegated to
Right.
have, and he has limited authority.
Right.
It's really,
But who made up the leash law for the dogs?
what do you mean, who made it? You mean the
Well, in the
ordinance?
town of Jamaica.
You want us to pass a new ordinance? Is
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
that-
That if you own
It's pretty
a,
outdated, the dog one, throw cats in there too.
Just throw cats in.
Well,
You're letting your cat on a leash?
that if you're gonna own the pet, you need to be responsible to have it neutered.
We'll call it, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Actually, I think there's limitations on that. You can't, well, I don't think you can actually. I think you're kind of running up against the.
So I have to
limits.
live with my house and the 3 houses I caretake get up getting urinated on all the time.
There might be some ways to enhance the ordinance, but it's
Right,
a 6-month process
right.
at least.
Well,
Right.
But maybe it's something worth looking into. I'm not
Yeah,
familiar enough
absolutely.
with
I'm
it.
just saying, right now, it's continuing to
Yeah.
make noise with Rob, with
Right.
animal control, be the squeaky wheel.
Yeah.
Trap it again and try again, definitely speaking to the owner. You're entitled to speak to the owner.
He won't respond. I'll call Rob again and,
Right.
receive.
Right,
Because Rob has
right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no police authority here.
No,
right?
no.
Yeah.
But I just wondered if there's an ordinance you can do like you do with the leash law, say,
Right.
make the owners of these pets be aware and responsible for their cats.
Maybe we
Running
call it
around
pet
and-
ordinance instead.
Right.
There's nothing worse than cat urine on your
Oh,
house.
I know.
Oh,
Especially when it starts warming up. It's gonna be
Yeah.
terrible. And I have 3 houses to deal with,
right. I hear,
Well,
yeah.
I'll call Rob and then we can follow up, maybe do a new ordinance.
So the other question has, if I trap it and I know whose cat it is, what happens then? And they won't respond to me. I have their cat.
I mean, I'd have to research it.
Yeah,
It's not
okay.
something,
Yeah.
there are not regulations I know offhand.
I mean, I don't want to
Does,
offend
but-
anybody, but again,
Right. Yeah.
We
I
can
don't
look
want
into
my
it.
house really stinking,
No.
No, I
Especially
believe
when
me.
that little guy looked right at me and was like,
Right,
watch this, and then, it's
right,
all over my grill. I'm like,
Right.
really?
Another angle may be with the health ordinance because it scratched you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That may be,
Yeah.
I don't know in my familiarity with it, that what the angle is, but I think we could look at that.
I mean, I hate to say it, talk to a lawyer. I mean, if someone knows that their animal is dangerous and could be hurting
Well,
someone,
I don't think
and they got hurt.
necessarily the cat is dangerous,
Okay,
but
but it scratched you. I mean, that's the other option.
But I'm saying, the old wolf house, I watched it do whatever on the old
Right.
front. The Worthing house, the people just moved in, saw it do it on all over their
Right.
place. And I see it do it on Dixon's, all
Right,
over their furniture, their grill. And then he did it in someone's car, and then he's doing it all over my front porch, so.
charge them for the cleaning, that's,
Yeah.
it's,
Okay.
it's monetary damages. I mean,
Yeah.
right. I hear you.
Yeah.
Just trying to think out of the box, but yeah. Well, I think, look, Sarah, will you circulate to us the existing ordinance? Actually, it's probably, it's like 30 years old.
It's like typewriter.
Okay. All right, well, we'll definitely dust that off.
Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
yeah, I find that those ordinances are good because they raise awareness.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of teeth.
Yeah.
But it does raise awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
It stinks.
That's awful. It's awful.
Stinks, yeah.
It's awful. I can see why you're thinking about the 22. I mean, it's awful. Right. And I'm a pet owner, so
No, me too,
I have 5 cats, so.
Because I have 2 that live inside, I have 3 that are ferals that
Right.
I adopted from, the 2 that came up from Shirley's house. And
Yeah.
then I had an orange one show up, and Rob helped me with that one.
Mm-hmm.
So they found a way to get in my basement, they're warm and whatnot. I feel well.
3 more after cats.
But they stay around the barn and on my property, so,
Right.
they're okay.
And they're mousers, hopefully, yeah.
Huh?
And they
Mousers.
help
Yeah.
control.
Oh, no, definitely, especially
Yeah.
the river rats. But-
Yeah.
And again, I just want people, somehow, these people who own their animals, they need to be held responsible.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, and I don't know, I mean, Rob says he has a hard time with people when we were talking, because
Yeah,
they all ignore
yeah.
him. And then he feels like sometimes he's threatened and whatnot, so, yeah.
Right. Is there a concern about someone's welfare vis-a-vis the owners or?
I have no idea.
Okay,
But I think it's pretty rude for this guy that the guy who told me whose cat it was, he texted him, gave him my number, I texted him, and then there was no response to, you know. All I want to know is your cat been had shots, do I have to worry about when he may?
But also, he may not know.
He may not
Cat's
know.
doing this.
Right,
Well, that's what I mean, but
Yeah,
he's still not responding,
Right.
and that was Saturday. So,
okay.
anyways.
I hear you. Bob, did you, have something?
Yeah, maybe I can bring a couple of issues up. On Depot Street, are they gonna continue cleaning the sidewalks down to the
Yes.
school?
Yes, bit by bit,
There's
absolutely.
been a lot of foot traffic, you know, we've seen a lot more now with dogs and, people walking dogs and stuff, so there's a lot of new people in town, and things like that, we're just afraid that somebody's gonna get hit
Never.
and stuff, and then, maybe a suggestion, if they paint the sidewalk by Andy's house this year, it hadn't been done for 3 years.
Paint it?
The crosswalk.
Oh, paint the crosswalk.
And,
Yes.
and put the speed zone sign back up again, that used to be there by the.
Yeah, Phil, yeah.
It's definitely been 3 years, because there's still a lot of traffic flying up and down that road.
Mhm.
And now with the increase of foot traffic and stuff, it's just a matter of time.
I hear.
So that could be a priority put on there.
We put in a speed bump.
No.
Well, we talked about that many times, you know, the speed bump stuff. It works, but it doesn't for winter crowd, the winter crew cleaning
And the
the roads.
first
and stuff like
responders
that.
don't like it.
But they have temporary ones that could also be put in and taken
Yes,
out,
we talked about that.
which is another thought.
Actually, when you were on the board, we talked about the temporary ones, the rubber ones. But the crosswalk helps, and obviously the sign does, the sign where it was.
Yeah.
You know, it got washed out, so we need to put it in a new location. It had been, actually, it could be across the street closer to your house.
Sure.
That's another spot where it's been in the past, and probably during, you know, once the weather is different and folks are using the park, it really becomes necessary.
Yeah, just to get those traffic.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's narrow and, you know,
Yeah.
I see people riding down on the sidewalk just to get out of the way.
Yes,
and stuff, so
yes.
it's, you know,
yeah.
appreciate it.
Speaking of that, all those folks walking down, if we can make a plea to people to clean up after their dogs down at the school grounds. Some people are just letting their dogs go to the bathroom. The poor kids are out there playing on the playground.
Yeah, it's awful.
It is.
That used to be one of my jobs, cleaning up.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody on Zoom looking to?
Yes, this is someone on Zoom. May I ask a question? This is Eugene Aletto.
Yes, please.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for allowing us to chime in. In regards to traffic, my purpose was actually similar to what I had just heard. Crosswalks, everything we can do prior to us opening. I'm sure that Karen has filled you in on, you know, our plans and ambition to try our best to continue to gentrify and beautify the downtown, which would obviously the goal is to increase foot traffic and increase people coming to enjoy our beautiful village. In front of the old Muzzies would be a fantastic place, especially since it's on the corner. We've seen this work really well, where if you stripe the road between the country store and Muzzies on that corner, could really delineate that there's a street there, and also, you know, get people walking back and forth. And then I was also going to suggest even down where the post office is, you know, we have a lot of people now parking in the post office parking lot. And at some point, the property across the street, which has the barn and the house, we're going to renovate that as well. But if anybody wanted to run something across the street for crosswalk, because we think that may be an opportunity for us to have some overflow parking for the restaurant, hotel, and post office.
So Eugene, actually, this is Jessica Pollock. Let me just explain one thing about any requests with respect to striping on Route 30. The town has absolutely no authority. It's entirely in the hands of V-Trans. And when we have actually interacted with them in the past, they have been completely unwilling to modify from the crosswalks that are there today. So I just want to let you know, coming to this board really what we can do is once the weather has changed enough that it makes sense for us to repaint the crosswalks with V-Trans, we can do that. That's something that the municipality can be involved in.
The
existing ones, exactly where they are today. We can't even change what they look like. No words, nothing. It's in 100% in the hands of V-Trans.
But can you request this?
I'm aware of that. I did call the state, and since I'm what they called me the general public, it still would have to go through the village since it is the downtown, meaning even though it could take us a while, I'm anticipating that we could be causing some issues based off of opening up, that location down there. And ultimately we're going to open up Muzzies as well. So I'm anticipating trying to get out in front of it. If it's something that the village is certainly not in support of, that's why I'm coming to you. If it is something you're in support of, I would like very much for us as a village to talk to transportation so that because they'll even come down and do a study. They said they'll take a look at it. And I'm just stating the obvious. Like, I noticed a lot of people crossing, and there really is a lack of regards for human beings when it comes to crossing Route 30.
Yeah. Hi, this is Greg Melmans. I did want to just say too that annually our representative from V-Trans meets with us to go over all kinds of things, grants and whatnot. But that's coming up later this month. So awesome. It's something that I think we have consensus here on the board that it's of interest to us. Well, there's many reasons, but we don't want to have crosswalk all over the place. I mean, it then may not be as helpful as it's intended, but to thoughtfully go through and look at where they may be put in addition to where they currently are. We're also working on a grant that the deadline is later in April, but it's a transportation enhancement grant to do a study of the bike and pedestrian traffic in town. Really focused on Depot Street going down to the state park, but we can look at possibly expanding on that to include on Route 30. Route 30, as Jessica mentioned too, just being a state highway, has a little bit different regulation, so to speak, of what can be done.
And the most significant thing is really the studies. They have V-Trans, and I'm sure they shared this with you, it sounds like they did, that they have a very high threshold to have a base amount of evidence to drive a decision that's going to change a traffic pattern on a rural highway. So that was my only caution. It's not that we don't support it, but it's a much bigger hill to climb than on a road that's owned by the town.
The last question I have is the blinking signs that are on Route 30 going into other villages. There seems to be a more there when I drive Route 30. There seems to be a more consideration in Newfane, Townsend, and even like for some reason the length of road that they start doing the slowdown and the striping coming into these other villages on Route 30 create a higher level of respect for slowing down. When they get to our town, for whatever reason that go to 30 miles an hour, they don't seem to really pay attention. And I think we should, when they do come to the village, I would ask us as a group of like-minded people is to try to get them to at least provide an additional striping where they do wide stripes down to small stripes in having people recognize you're starting to get closer to a 30-mile-an-hour. When you come from Brattleboro, where Karen is, you come around with where our little bingo and so forth. By the time you get to the museum, you're sort of zoned out, and you could be at 45 to 50. I've even done it myself. The other part where we enter the town from the north side, coming from Stratton, because you're coming and you're descending down this big hill, and you get to our bridge, you're already in town going 45 to 50, and you got to make a conscious effort to like pump your brakes. So I think it's not just in the town, but in entering our village. And I think if we could share with them our concern that we have this, this opportunity where our village is becoming more lively, that if we put an emphasis that it's not just what we have today, but what our plans are for the future. We just don't want to have any any casualties with people getting clipped with people coming into the village. So I think there's a little bit more prevention that they could be doing for us as it relates to the entry of our village, not just when they're here. Just a suggestion.
I would agree with Eugene. I think it's a great idea to have the state look at the whole village, and maybe not just down Depot Street, but maybe it's also looking at the sidewalks there across the street from the post office and the restaurant. The sidewalks there are pretty bad, and maybe putting a crosswalk on that end near the parking area and post office. There's one in front of the town hall, and there's one in front of the Jamaica House for crosswalks that go across. So maybe another one up on that end would be a good idea to suggest to them.
At the other end, they don't have a pedestrian showing a sign where people are going to be crossed.
Exactly.
Every town you go into, you see that. And Jamaica doesn't have it at either end, except for by the town hall.
Yeah.
And then,
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
I believe they don't have that at the Jamaica House either, do they? The sign that shows pedestrian?
I don't know.
Because it's a law that you have to stop.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yes.
people don't.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you can't see the stripes right now.
Yeah. No, but I mean, they don't have signs there for people.
Our erstwhile town clerk and treasurer pointed out that I did, in fact, skip over 2 items before going to public concerns. So I'm going to go back. If there are no more public concerns, I'm going to go back. Oh, go ahead, Paul.
A partial one. Can you give us the date for the Jamaica dates again?
August 16th.
16th.
August 15th, the
reenactment.
Civil War reenactment comes on Friday the 15th. They're there overnight, all day Saturday, and most of the day on Sunday.
Okay.
And they'll be having events, candlelight service or something at night. They'll have surgeons there explaining all the surgeries that they would do in the war and things like that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, so I'm going to go back to item 10. I'll make a motion to approve the timesheets for the town office, listers, highway, and transfer station. Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion to approve the pay orders as distributed. Second. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Seeing no more public concerns, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone.